Hi there, I'm Tom from A Plus Canine Performance, and today we're going to talk about dogs that are counter surfing and trying to find a way to stop the dog from counter surfing when you are away and not there to tell the dog off or whatever command you may have worked out. So, a few little tools. We're going to work with a soda can or a beer can, whichever your choice. Some thin rope. I say thin rope. Not a string, not fishing line, nothing like that. I want something that the dog won't try to swallow. We're gonna need a pair of scissors to cut that. Some bait, in this case, I've got a piece of chicken. And then what I chose here is some nickels. Nickels are heavy. They make a lot more noise than some of the other coins. Quarters can work well as also. I've got about 95 cents here that I was able to put together. First thing we're gonna do is we're going to put these nickels inside the can. And this becomes obvious pretty quickly. What's going on here is that we're making something pretty noisy that can startle the dog. So we'll get all these here. One thing we're taking care to do here is to leave this tab up. That's good and loud. These can be used for a few different behavior issues. Dogs don't like that, for sure. And actually, one thing I often do sometimes if the nickels start to fall out is put a piece of tape across this hole to make sure that they don't fall out. Okay, the next thing we need to do is we need to put our string on here, or thin rope as I will call it to be specific. It's just a little bit of natural twine. Make sure to double knot that on there. You can put a bow knot on there, whatever you feel. Just something so that it doesn't pull off. Then what I need to do is I need to measure the distance we're going to have from the edge of our counter and give a little extra. I'm going to cut that off. Then I'm going to tie our bait in this scenario here. I'm putting a piece of chicken. We want something that's gonna be a good piece of bait, but it's going to stay there. I wanna put that right at the edge of the counter. I'm gonna trim off this excess. And I'll leave that at the edge of the counter. So now we've got our bait right here at the edge of the counter, where the dog can see it. Come up and grab that bait and run off with it. Now you'll notice the first thing that's going to happen here, the moment the dog comes up, pulls it, bang, we've got an initial noise there. If that doesn't scare him, dog takes it and runs off with it, you can tell that gets a lot louder. So the hope here is that the dog is going to pull this down, maybe once, twice, you might have to do it a few times. You want to kind of walk out of the room, but try to be somewhere nearby so you hear it happen so that you can get in there quickly before the dog actually pulls it off and runs off and eats it. Some dogs will completely run off at that point and never come back. Some dogs will pull this down, this will fall next to them, and they'll be like, oh, that was fun, let's do it again. It's just one of those things, every dog is different, but it's worth a try. It's one of the first lines of defense, something to give a try for dogs that are counter surfing. You may be able to handle it while you're there in front of them, but once you walk away, you get around the corner, they look and, hey, I'm gonna give this a try. So give this a try yourselves. You'll notice I didn't tape it, but nothing fell out of it, but if you feel you want to put a piece of tape on there to make sure they don't fall out, that's perfectly fine as well. So, can, thin rope, bait. That's all we need.